Remember, out of adversity is the seed of opportunity. So if you feel as though your back is against the wall at the moment, this is a good time to rethink and readjust and say, great, I can recalibrate. It might mean that I don't have a job anymore at the end of the year, but this is an opportunity to do the sort of things I wanted to do. And which brings us to our first famous failure. Okay, now, who's ever heard of a guy called Charles Darrow? Darrow. Charles Darrow. Now, he was, I would say, the first games developer millionaire. So all you guys out there, if you've got your Google page open, Google him. No, and you young people out there, he's not one of those guys who created Super Mario Xbox, on Xbox or Wii. No, Charles Darrow was the man who put together the board game called Monopoly. Yeah, that's the guy. What happened was that he was a salesman, and during the 1929 stock market crash, he lost his job. Okay, so obviously his whatever company he worked for went out of business, and suddenly he was on his own. Now, you have two choices. You can either curl up and die, not die, but, basically curl up into a fetal position and say, the sky is falling, my life is ruined, it's all the end. Oh yeah, hi, people on Blog TV. You've dropped in too. Thanks. Now, we're talking about famous failures and the fact that it's no shame to fail. The only shame is not going on after that first failure. I see failure as feedback, okay? And we're going to talk about a lot of people. I'm going to bring examples on of people in the arts, entertainment industry, literature, even science. Nobel Prize winners that we consider to be, intellectual giants, and talk about the early days when they failed and how many times they failed. But the fact that they didn't care that they failed, maybe they did care a little bit, but the point is that it didn't stop them from going on to become what they have become, and consequently, the effect they have, the positive effect they had on the lives of so many people around them. You never know, it could be you. Okay, so Blog TV and people from Stitcher, I want you to write and type it now, and we have this little conversation about famous failures. So Charles Darrow, let's go back to him. So he was the guy who invented, you can call it that, Monopoly, the board game. Now the thing is that he had this bright idea, right? And he said, I'm going to pitch this idea of this board game to the Parker brothers. As you know, the Parker brothers are the people who sort of manufacture these sorts of things. And the Parker brothers apparently turned him down and said, this is crap. Actually, I'm paraphrasing. But they said, there are all these sort of design faults in your board game, and we're not really interested, so go away. Now, the guy didn't sort of go, oh yeah, okay, gee, they told me my idea was crap, I think I'll just go back to being, on the dole queue or being unemployed. No, he decided with a friend of his who was a printer to hand make 5,000 copies of that and to sell it themselves, okay, to go around. So they became the supply chain. They became the conduit for this sort of thing. Now remember, in 1927, we didn't have any computers then. We didn't have that sort of ability to entertain ourselves, like having television, radio, mass electronic media. So people actually played these sorts of things like either card games or board games. Now with board games like this, it meant that the family could get around the table, and it was also a great teaching tool about how to save, how to make business decisions. Fantastic idea. The fact is that eventually Parker Brothers came around to the idea that maybe this guy's onto something. It's going to be worthwhile, and because they had a bigger distribution chain, they took over that, but not before they paid Charles Darrow a lot of money. So, in a sense, he became the first millionaire, a games developer millionaire. So, the point is, he could have wallowed in being retrenched, fired from his job, unemployed, whatever it is that you want to use nowadays, severance. But he then used his time so wisely to create this. So My challenge to you out there is that what is the idea that you've got now that's been percolating in the back of your head that you've thought maybe it is a goer, maybe I can make something of it, maybe it will be a winner. Well, you won't know until you go out there and try. Okay, just thinking about it is in a sense really frustrating, and you will be very unhappy because at some level you will there is a part of your spirit that wants to express this creativity, which we all are. We're all creative beings, and we just have to find the right conduit or the right vehicle for which we can express our creative natures, because that is the richness that comes into our lives. Okay, and it could be also a means of you becoming